What's going on, everybody? The Iceman here on the Iceman V2013 YouTube channel. And yeah, I see that YouTube views have dropped dramatically. I don't know whether it's because nobody likes the videos that I'm doing, or it's just that nobody's happy with the wrestling product. I think it's a combination of a lot of things. I'm used to getting a lot more views, but that's okay. I don't do videos as often as I used to because I'm very, very busy. It is the holiday time. People are busy off doing other things as well. But it seems like it's been a trend going on for quite some time, but that's okay. Um, Tna Final Deletion. I believe it's at the Hardy compound tonight. And I gotta say this. Um, the last 3, 4, 5, 6 months of TNA have been like somewhat different. Um, since the Hardys did this change of the broken mat and the Brother Nero gimmick, it's really changed up TNA dramatically. They have done things that we don't expect. Um, they have gone where a lot of promotions haven't gone, and they're doing it with a roster that is so minute. You wonder how they stay afloat. And with all that's gone on this past year with TNA, with the Dixie and Billy Corgan issues, uh, now you got Fight Network and Anthem, majority owners uh, of TNA Wrestling. And then you now have Jeff Jarrett in talks with Anthem, and you sort of have to wonder what that's all about. I think this TNA has always been a very soft spot for Jeff Jarrett since he was a co-founder with his father. And you don't hear much about Global Force Wrestling, and I don't think it took off like Jeff Jarrett thought it was gonna. And a lot of times, your first effort usually is your best, but you can learn from your mistakes. And I think Jeff Jarrett, from the inception of TNA, from its very, very beginning when it got off the ground, it started with their pay-per-views, their $9.99 pay-per-views, uh, and then they finally landed a TV deal. I mean, the times, the time frame wasn't the most convenient for a lot of people, but people started watching it, started catching on, and eventually, it went from like Fox Sports, and then it went to, I believe it was Spike TV thereafter. And then once they went on Spike, things started getting better. And Jeff Jarrett put together a huge, huge roster of superstars, some old, some very new. Um, and I remember watching them in like the early to mid 2000s. Their roster was like enormous. They had a lot of tag teams. Um, the X Division, the X Division made TNA. It was phenomenal. Um, and I think Jeff Jarrett, his dream was being fulfilled. But, you want to make something better, you got to spend the money. And a lot of times you don't get that money in return all the time, but it does take time. And I think he was fortunately running out of money, unfortunately. And so, things started changing. Then Panda Energy got involved, Dixie Carter got involved. And, you know, we all know the rest of the story. But they had the right idea. They were on the verge of becoming huge. And I'll always say this and I'll stick to it. When Hogan and Bischoff came in 2010, Dixie thought, this is it. It's a big draw with Hulk Hogan. I knew when Hogan and when Bischoff came in at the same time, when they were partners, they were gonna try to make TNA another WCW. I didn't want that. I loved WCW, but WCW was WCW. And Bischoff got so greedy and he got so focused on only NWO that helped destroy WCW as well. That whole promotion got out of hand. Guys were coming in doing live Nitro shows, did not know who they were wrestling until the very last second. They didn't even know what the outcome was going to be until the very last second. That's how much WCW was in disarray. And I think when Hogan and Bischoff came into TNA, and then putting them up against Monday Night Raw right from the get-go. No. And then AJ Styles having Rob Van Dam beat him on a February pay-per-view. Rob Van Dam just laid across him, didn't even hook the leg. It was so sloppy. And I was so disappointed that AJ lost that title after he worked so hard to get it that previous year. And his run wasn't very long. And then Ric Flair getting involved, and you had the fortune gimmick and all this shit, But anyway, so TNA, getting back to this past year, going through a lot of changes, a lot of different ideas. A lot of people don't like the Hardy gimmick. I myself thought it was different, and so I enjoyed it because I've always liked the Hardy Boys ever since I saw them in the WWE when they first came up. And I always thought Jeff Hardy back then was never going to be as big as his brother Matt. This was way back when, and it turned around to be the opposite. But now, after all these years, here we go again. WWE interested in Jeff and Matt Hardy. WWE interested in Eli Drake. I've heard rumors about maybe even get the man known as Ethan Carter III back. If the WWE rapes TNA from their talent, I think there's a major problem for TNA, whether the talent goes or not. Because if I were guys like Jeff Hardy or Eli Drake or Ethan Carter III, I would say, hey, you didn't want me the first time around. Why do you want me now? And the only thing that would change their mind would be the big bucks. But anyway, so Final Deletion tonight at TNA. I'm looking forward to checking that out. And let's be thankful that this year, and it hasn't been in a number of years, that TNA is really running through to the end of the year with new programming. This is something we haven't seen in quite some time. So I give them a lot of credit. I give Dixie credit. Even though she's caused a lot of her problems, she's trying to solve them as well. And she's coming up with answers. I mean, it's from a day-to-day thing that she has to solve a problem. But she's done it. So we'll wait and see what happens. So everybody enjoyed TNA tonight as well. And we'll see y'all next time. And we'll talk about it and see what the Final Deletion really did bring us. Peace out, everybody. Enjoy your day.